Today, I'm going to show you, not to show any PHP code or teach you how to start programming, but I want to show you a couple of things and tools you might find useful for your using the API or your debugging and or all around of it. So, for example, I'm using the Chrome because it has really nice built-in developer tool where you can find it in options, tool, and developer tools. After opening it, you will be seeing some window in your browser. You can use it in Firefox or Safari because in default installation they have the same tool already. But for Firefox, I can recommend you installing some extension which is called Firebug. Oh, Firebug, which is the extension for Firefox browser. It is much more better than the included developer tool. So, what is the developer tool? You can find some tabs in the window, and there are some. The first is elements, which is in effect exploring the HTML code in the browser. So I can see that there is some body, some content, some about, prerequisites before you start, and all the section in the code. In the second tab, resources, you can see cookies stored in the browser. You can modify it, you can delete it, and we will show it later. In network tab, you will see the traffic sent from your browser to the server. All the data, all the images, and whatever the browser sends. It's similar to, if you know, Ethereal, which is a network sniffing tool, and you can capture and record every packet sent from your machine to the server. This is similar, but it displays the traffic sent from the browser and in much better and visible, clear way. In the sources, this is much more for the JavaScript developers. We will not today talking about it. Timeline and profiles and audits. It's also for developers to see how fast and quick their application is. Because I can start recording, for example, and then reload the page, and I will be seeing all the requests sent to the images, loading JavaScript and whatever. So then I can analyze the data and see why the application is slow. If it's because there are a lot of images, which is they are big, or if the JavaScript code is difficult to parse and load, and you know. And the last one, console, you will see any errors, warnings. Here, plus you can run the JavaScript applications code directly from this place. Okay, let's start with first. If you switch to elements, you will be seeing the PHP code. I will close it. And now I can put my cursor anywhere in my page and right click. There is something called inspect element, which open up the developer tool and put you in the exact place you want to. And by double click, I can directly modify my page. Like, no need to save. You will see the result immediately in the browser. Of course, you can modify it not only the PHP code, but also the styles of fonts and size. So I have defined that my H2 font size is this one. I can disable it and I see the immediate result. I can play with and say that my font size will be 10 pixels. Okay, that's small. 15, still too small. 20, okay, 40, and so on. So after you will change the size you want to do, then you can go to your code and use it before you will be saving the changes too much. Okay, now some real usage, because we said that there is some networking tool. I will open up my workspace, kerio.com. There we go. Now, open up and switching to network tab. And I'll be seeing all the requests sent from my browser to the server. I can see that there is some JavaScript, styles, and so on, images, and there's few links which makes some filter to the request, so you will be seeing only the you are interested in. For example, the calls for API are stored in XHR, and let's use some login credentials with my bad password, blah 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 blah. Doesn't matter. Send, and then I should be able to see all login request to workspace.kerio.com with username, which is mine, and with some bad password, and the response is visible here. Okay, now we'll clear the window using my correct credentials. There we go. And let's open my space again, clear it. And now let's see what the command for creating new space is. I space, oh sorry, space description. Let's see the data sent to the server, and I can see all the requests sent from my browser to the server with cookies, host name, and there we go. There is some JSON API call with method create item and some params of type space with name MySpace and a couple of other settings. Now, because we are always talking about JSON, that it's lightweight, easy to read human protocol, I like to show you one of favorite tools to using JSON and translating to other forms. And my favorite page is JSON viewer stack.hu, which is online JSON viewer, and you can put the JSON here. So let me copy this one and put it here. And I can format it. So now the structure of the JSON is much more visible and readable and better to see and blah blah blah. And after switching to the first tab viewer, you can actually go through the tree of the JSON. In this case, the command is really small and short, so you will see only few elements in params and the value. But for example, if I open some my other third page where I have more things, which is, for example, this one. You can see that for request get item list with some params, I got a response. Okay, very long. Okay, use online viewer. Paste. Okay. Maybe for this case, I want to format it. You only to see it. So the result of the items is this one. The tool is great not only for browsing of the the JSON, but you can search in it. So let's make a test. I will know that there is some meeting. Let's search for the meeting composer, next occurrence, next. So you'll be able to go through the JSON in a much better way than only seeing some network capture. Any question so far?
Could this also be used for example, we got lots of questions from people. How could I customize my workspace? I know it's not the API at all, but
Officially, yes.
with this tool, could I also see which graphics are loaded? Because I just saw when you use the Firebug thing, there was also shown the image which was loaded. So is it a possibility, for example, when I'm going on a login page from my workspace and I want to customize the layout, I don't want it green, I want it with my logo at the login. Does Firebug give me also back the name of the picture which is loaded, or is it coded so we can't see it?
It can give you the name of the item or the place where from where the image came. Then you can go to your files and modify it. Yeah.
Okay.
Because let's make some test. This is image or test?
After, can you also show why the HTTPS is showing your password, as it's supposed to be encrypted, but you can explain why it's showing on the...
You mean when...
In the log, yeah. Can you...
Why it's the...
Is it big?
Why it is... Why it was visible? Yeah.
Yes. Can you explain why?
It is supposed to. So because actually what you see here in the developer tool is exactly what your browser do. So even you see here the password and the username, it is sent over the encrypted layer.
Okay, so what I see there in this screen is local. It's not on the opposite side, because the way from local to the server will be then again encrypted. What I see here in clear text is only locally on my computer.
Correct.
You know, this tool is...
So I need to thoroughly watch the video again when you're just logged in, so I know your password. Cool.
Yeah, no problem. Use it as you want.
No, I will blur it. I will blur it.
You know, this tool is intended for web developers because, for example, I am trying to log into my not Kerio workspace, but any other web application, and I am typing my username and some password, and still wondering why it doesn't work, because I know the username is admin with password A, which is obvious. There is no typo in. From the request, you can see that I'm sending request that I am sending the username admin with password A, which is obvious and everyone knows it. But I am sending it as a form data in variables Kerio /username with Kerio _password. And now I see that my application is expecting not Kerio /username, but only username. So I exactly know what data in which data are sent from the form in browser to my application. That's the reason why you can see the username and password in plain text.
So effectively, that is the code that the browser has on is displaying you. Effectively.
Yes, exactly. In general,
and it's just,
in general, you can see, for example, in google.com, what Google is sending for searching for something. So let's try to see the search. And I see that Google sends a lot of data, and this.
So it's not just sending. It's not just sending the word Kerio, but it's also sending from where it's from and
exactly.
so on. And this, the browser type,
This query string parameter Q Kerio is exactly what I type here, and it's because this is there are two types of requests sent in the web applications. One of it is method get, and the second is
and the other one is post.
Is post, exactly. And the difference between those is that the get sends the parameters in the URL and the post inside the page. So you want to see the parameters here. So for example, if you are running the Kerio control and in that log you see this is because the form was sent over the get using the get method.
But that's correct. I mean, but the actual data is still sent anyway. One thing in one place is shown in the title bar, and the other one is embedded in the form. But effectively, the data is still sent.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah, because I'm not sure if I have any online.kerio.com.
Yeah, we can see a lot of data is being sent, but is not displayed into the. Is not displayed in the actual search bar or the URL bar.
You know, this is the this is the situation of my previous usage of the API when I was not able from the documentation to make the proper search query for listing users for whatever. So I can see exactly what the web administration is doing, for example, for search. Let's clear it. Let's search for John Smith. And what the application did is they sent users get not easy to read. So let's copy and paste it to my JSON viewer. And now I can see that we sent users get method with params query fields that I'm interested of all those data of users, and I'm searching for the John. So then you can use this as a reference for further programming. But you actually see what the application is doing.
Thank you very much, Mira, for clarifying this.
So I know that this is not the best way how to start programming with our API, but this is useful for seeing how we did it exactly in our web applications. So we talk about backup. If it's possible to make some PHP page where anyone can click on a single button and start backup. Yes, it is. I can read it in the documentation in the ADR references file, or I can actually log in to my Connect server, open the developer toolbar, and fire the button with backup and see what request the application actually sent, and then rewrite in my PHP application.
Do you mean that the backup can actually be rewritten on a separate page?
Yes.
So I can the backup without even logging in as administrator, as long as I provide the right credential?
Yes, exactly, you can. Because the application has stored your login credentials in some config file. And then in the code inside will be some method backup start with some parameters as start full backup. And if you provide the page to anyone else who is allowed to click on the button start backup, for instance, then you can fire the backup process on the background on behalf of the login credentials stored in config file. Yes. No problem. Okay, so that's all from me for today. I really want to show you any PHP code or other stuff because I think that this was the last piece I can show you to start up with some PHP and API to showing your customers and in fact understanding what the JSON exactly is and how we use it.
So to sum up, you can use these tools for two purposes. One is for debugging. When as you showed us, it shows, okay, I always use in my thing I programmed or I developed a username, but the correct one would be Kerio _username. So I can use it for debugging. Second thing, I can use it to see what classes, what commands, what things are called when I press something in our products. And yes, that's it. Which is cool, by the way.
Yeah, correct, exactly.
Because it gives you the tools how to debug and to develop.
Yes.
Or ask Mira.
Yes. I'm not.
Thank you very much.
I'm not so familiar with the JavaScript here in web administration, but I know that there is some Kerio class. I don't know, and I can whatever call directly from my browser in the JavaScript code here. So if I would know the proper JavaScript command of the application, I, as a developer, should be able to use it here. Because our code is scrambled. I code something stored in X, blah, 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 and I see it contains some values stored here. Oh, let's make a task.
So what can we actually give our viewers, which who are also watching this third session, what can we give them as a forecast when there will be maybe some sort of already packed API virtual machine which they can download and start using it? Are there any target milestones? Somehow vague? First quarter of 2013 or?
You mean for the virtual machine?
Yep. Correct.
Actually, it only depends on me when I talk to my colleagues in Autobot team. There is no
So
time
it could
frame
be
or-
it could be first quarter of 2013.
should be possible, yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very
I will
cool.
try it. Okay.
Yeah. I'm just typing Marino because he wanted to stop the recording, but I think now he can stop the recording because